morning. Hello, hello. How is everyone today? Oh, you guys just ever have a bad hair day? Like, I wanted it to be on the other side, and it just kept flipping over and is doing exactly what it wants to do. So we are going to give it a few and let all the notifications go out. So my sister and I have junk journaled again. It's been a while. Summer just seems crazy. Like, you feel like you should be outside doing stuff and not inside. And even though it's not really any cooler here, it just feels like fall. So we started junk journaling again. So I made a new background for my phone because I get this clear case at Five Below. And the cases do tend to yellow in color over time, but it fits in like that. And I've always got a ring on the back of my phone. But I thought that was really cute for early fall. So I did that. And the back side of this is printed too. Good morning, Lemon. And if you purchased from me last week and you paid on time, your package is on its way to you. I got everything shipped out that had been paid on time. Good morning, Alice. Then I did just a couple of pages in here. The first one was purely paper and stickers. Like, I did not do anything fancy. I went to a garage sale where they were selling scrapbook paper, the 12 by 12 sheets, 10 for 25 cents. 10 for 25 cents. So I dig through it. Sorry, guys. I got a cat here on my lipstick. I dug through, I don't know how many boxes they had. A couple of the boxes were just plain colored. So I stuck to the patterned boxes. And I did have cat hair. Good morning, Diane. And I got some for me, some for my sister, some for her oldest daughter who junk journals, and then some for my daughter who had asked for scrapbooking stuff for her birthday because she wants to scrapbook her and her partner's camping trips. So hers, she got the least amount of paper, but it was very specifically themed for outdoors, for camping, for summer, that kind of stuff. So this paper and the stickers were some of that I thrifted. So I just started out with a very simple page to get back in the swing of it because it has been well over a month since we junk journaled. And then I did this one. Let me show you this page first. Got these gorgeous holographic stickers. And then so we're back into the swing of things. And that's fun. My sister and I were talking about what would you do if you won the lottery? And my first answer was pay off all of my kids' school loans. And her first answer was pay off everyone's mortgage in the family. And then we were like, would you quit your job? And I'm like, I wouldn't. I would expand. The first thing I would do if I won the lottery is hire an assistant. Somebody young enough, strong enough, and a good driver who could go thrifting with me and garage sailing and flea marketing and carry all this stuff. So I would hire an assistant and I would immediately rent a space and move my operations into a space that I could film from that would have like a separate shipping table already set up so I didn't have to store the stuff under my bed. So, and she wouldn't quit working either. She's always been, like, everyone in my family is a workaholic, and my sister might be the worst of me and my siblings, but she would not quit her job. She loves her job. It's fun to play What Would You Do If You Won Lottery? Kids and I, if we had to be in the car for an extended amount of time. And of course, this is pre-device. And even when they were high schoolers, there were still times where we put the phones down and spent time together. And so I would ask them, what would you do if you had $1 million? So we used to play a variation of that game when we were driving around. I hope everyone is doing well. Sunday, I think, is the first official day of fall, right? And who's got fall weather? Because we do not. It continued to stay above 80 this week. And in fact, I think Friday and Saturday are supposed to be a high of 84 here in Ohio. But the trees are starting to turn. And some years we get a really gorgeous, where the, oh, Alice, I love that. That is a wonderful thing. Sometimes we get the fall foliage where it's just gorgeous. All the leaves turn orange and yellow and red and brown at the same time. You've got sunshine in that one perfect weekend where you can drive around, the sun's shining on the leaves. And then other years we get a windstorm that comes through, drops all the leaves to the ground immediately, and you get no fall. You get no fall foliage at all. Just never know what you're going to get. I hope everyone got to see my preview that went up on Monday. That was also the second half of the haul from a couple of weekends ago from the flea market. Good morning, Roxana. So I'm going to wait for just a few more people to come in, and then I'm going to get started on the sale. And Mom and Dad and I haven't actually closed up the pool yet because you need the water to stay below a certain temperature so that algae doesn't grow once you cover it. And it hasn't actually gotten down that low yet. So yesterday we dumped the chemicals in, and then we will see today. The plan is today to cover it. Hopefully the water is cool enough. We will see. Harley's asleep over here in a little ball. She looks so cute. And then I went down to see Blue because he's living with my nieces right now, and he didn't want anything to do with me. Nothing at all. He's perfectly happy where he is. And he gets along well with their cat. All right, I think we're going to go ahead and get started. I can always do a recap at the end for people that come in later. So first up, I can't believe how good of shape these are in. These are all from the 1950s. The 150 Ways to Play Solitaire, let's see, is from 1950. And it's only got to see a bit of foxing here and here, but it is in really good. Good morning, Kim. I'm great. It's in really good condition. No damage on the inside. The spine's not broken. So that one from 1950. And There's no weird smell. If they smelled of mold at all, it would set off my asthma. Okay, so the next one is official rules of card games in general. This is Hoyle, and this one, 1955 for this printing. Now, the pages on this one are pretty yellowed, but still in really good vintage condition. This one's thicker. Let's show you side by side. And then the last one, I believe this one is also 1950. Let me double check. Do not see a date. Oh yeah, 1950. And this is the thinnest one. Fun with Games of Rummy. And pretty yellow on this one too. So here's the three of them together. I swear my grandma had this one. And for all three, it's only $10, number 8. $10, number 8. I just think those are so fun. And next up, another glass shoe. So this is the fourth that I have found this summer, the fourth glass shoe. And this one has scroll work. And then beading. And then a bow right there. So this one is smaller than like the amber cat shoe that I sold last week. This one's smaller than that. It is like 4.5 inches long, and height-wise, not quite 2.5. And I cannot find any chips or cracks on this one. I think it's in excellent condition. It's this gorgeous green. And it is $10, number 14. $10, number 14. And if I missed you coming in, hello. Thanks for being here today. Next up, how about a little blue glass? Daisy and button, hat toothpick holder. And I could not find any chips or cracks on this one. And these were made by so many different companies. I can't tell you who made it. 2.5 inches tall at its widest point, 3.5 inches across. But that's from, you know, hat brim to hat brim. It's this size. It's the toothpick holder. They did make these in planters, and they're giant, but I don't come across those near as often as the toothpick holders. So Daisy and Button blue glass hat toothpick holder, $12, number 50. $12, number 50 for that little beautiful piece. Next up, I have some hair receivers. So this first hair receiver, oh, thank you, Lemmy. Lemmy is going to take the glass hat. Awesome. So first hair receiver is unmarked. This is the only unmarked one that I have. And it's this really pretty flower pattern. It goes all the way around. You've got gold trim here. And the gold trim is worn on the top. There's a tiny bit left. See? But not much. Inside is nice and clean. And I do not see any chips or cracks on this at all. This one is three and 3/4 inches across unmarked hair receiver. And this one is going to be $12, number 36. It's very noisy. $12, number 36. The next hair receiver, this one's cool because this one I can absolutely say is an antique because it is marked. It is marked RS Prussia, and that company is, I'm gonna mangle this. Oh, thanks, Alice. Reinhold Schlegel Milch. Or Schlegel Milk? Reinhold Schlegel Milk. That is the company. And that is an antique company. So this one is over 100 years old. It has this very thick gold trim on it. The bottom is marked. And then here's the top. So the inside is nice and clean on this one. But look how unusual the shape is. I think that is so stinking pretty. You've got just this green and gold all the way through in this lighter green color along the bottom. It's this big. So the actual hair receiver part is like 2.5 inches, but all the way across the whole thing is 4. And I cannot find any chips or cracks on this one either. So it's in pretty good antique condition. This one is an antique, and it is going to be $16, number 82. $16, number 82. And the next one is a set. So it's a hair receiver and a pin dish. This one is marked Nippon. And I love it when it's marked Nippon because then we absolutely can date it. And it's this very pretty. And again, I love the shape on this dish. So the hair receiver is kind of a basic round. This is the smallest hair receiver. It's like, let me show you that first one again. So here's the first one compared to this one. So the Nippon is pretty small. And then clearly marked there on the bottom of both pieces, Nippon. And it's got that same flower. I just love the shape of the pin dish. So you will get the set for $20, number 53. $20, number 53. And if you're watching on the replay, you can always email me and ask if something is still available. There's my email right there. Next up, I found 2 pieces of Waterford crystal. This lovely little bowl is the Crystal Variety Bowl. It is marked Waterford on the bottom. I'm trying not to get fingerprints all over. That's been possible. It's this size. So it's a perfect ice cream bowl if you're on a diet. Because it is small. No chips, no cracks. It catches the light beautifully. It's Waterford. I don't have to say much more than that. Just absolutely exquisite. And it was called the Variety Bowl. It is 5 inches across. And height-wise, like 3 1/4. So it's a little bowl. It's a perfect snack bowl, like for nuts, for a single person. Perfect. Alice. No kidding. Or even just the hair on my shirt. I put this clean shirt on this morning. Cat hair all over it. All right, for a little piece of Waterford, $12, number 49. $12, number 49. And I absolutely think you should make every day a little bit special. So have your little snack out of this perfect bowl. My second piece, I knew what it was when I picked it up, and I'm like, what is it? And it's a wine bottle coaster. It's nice and heavy. And this is the Millennium Happiness wine coaster. So the bows there through the bottom are very distinctive. That is the Millennium Happiness pattern. And they did make crystal goblets that match this pattern. And I went back to see if I had missed them, and I could not find them. So I don't know if they had already been sold before I got there and the person didn't know what this was, or if they got broken. Don't know. But it is a wine bottle coaster. I love that. Then whatever vintage table you've got it sitting on, it is not going to get moisture on your table. And I don't know if you can see, but the Waterford is right. No, you can't see it, but the Waterford is right above my thumb there. So this is 4 3/4 inches across, and depth-wise, just over 1.5 inches. But it is heavy. It is heavier than the bowl, so that your wine bottle doesn't tip. Good morning, Karen. So a little bit of Waterford. $15, number 81. $15, number 81. And unfortunately, I had to give up drinking wine when I hit middle age because it gives me hot flashes so badly I can't stand it. It was just easier to cut wine out than to keep dealing with hot flashes like that. Made me sad, but we do what we gotta do. Next up, I have 3 pieces of Mexican pottery that I have lotted up together because they're all flowers, and I love that. So they do stack together, and I will show you them one piece at a time, but I am selling them all together. So here's the first one. And this looks like a lily. And then, no, not a lily. What is that flower? It's not a lily. And then a sunflower. And then it repeats that pattern on the outside too. This is the biggest bowl at 6 1/4 inches, 6 inches, just depends on where this you measure from. And this one does say lead-free on the bottom, so it's food safe, but not vintage, because it would not be marked lead-free if it was vintage. The next one, so pretty. And there's the marking on that one. This one is 5 3/4. Now this one, underneath the glaze, the blue glaze before they glazed it with a clear coat, top coat, it did crack, but that is the glaze underneath the clear top coat in there. Good morning, Roxanne. Good morning, Kendra. So it's not a crack in the dish itself, but I wanted you to be aware it was in there. And then the final one is this one. And this one probably is 5 1/2 inches. So just each one is just a bit smaller than the one before. So you're going to get all 3 for $20, number 29. Oh, Rebecca, your package went out yesterday. $20 and number 29. And because YouTube is doing this weird thing now where it does not show up on the static sales your regular name. So like Rebecca, yours, when you claimed that item last week, it showed up at Rebecca something something. It showed your YouTube channel instead of Rebecca T like it does on here. So I was 99% sure it was you, but then I had to go look and pull up your channel and make sure it said Rebecca T. But if you, just another reminder, and here's the thing about policies and procedures, 99% of people don't need to read them and also don't have an issue following them. But 1% of people, so like one person out of 100 is not going to ever read those and is also not going to follow them. And that one person is the reason why they were written. So I have had a couple of issues lately. And I got to say it, I hate it. I never want to offend anybody. I love that we're all very friendly here. But if you claim an item and you cancel the item, I understand. Things happen. You had a car accident the day after. Now you need to pay for car repairs. I get it. But if you claim an item and you cancel it, and then a month later you claim another item and you cancel it, and then a month later you claim another item and you cancel it, I'm not going to be able to let you claim items anymore. Because at that point, there could have been somebody else who wanted that item who didn't buy it because you claimed it first. So I hate to be a meanie, but this is a business. And now it's been 3 times that you've stopped somebody else from purchasing that item, and that's not right. So that's one of the things. And then if you have not purchased in a year or more, you have to update your info with me. You have to. Pirate Ships drops the info out after a certain amount of time. It's not there. Sometimes I can find it in PayPal or in my email, my Gmail, but sometimes that's dropped out too after a certain amount of time. So if you've not purchased in a year or 2 or 3, now that I've been in business this long, you need to update your email, not with me, but with every seller. And you need to update your email if you have changed your YouTube name. And I know in the beginning when I first started, I think I changed my name 3 times before I settled on Claudia K Vintage and decided I was going to resell. So, it's not uncommon to change your YouTube name, but you need to let everybody know you've changed your YouTube name. So when you're claiming an item, they know who you are. And if you've moved, got to change that. So just keep your info updated. And just to be safe, once a year, you can send your info again. Now, obviously, everybody that's purchased from me this year, we have no issues. You're getting your packages. Hopefully, I'm sending them to the right place. But, it feels like we have this relationship, but I've never met any of you guys. So I can't find you. If your info's not updated, I can't find you. I don't know who you are. So please make sure you've kept your info updated. And I have policies and procedures. They are all in the description box below of every live sale. I have a different set that I pop in for static sales, just explaining how to claim things from a static sale. But the info is there. And I don't know that anybody ever reads it. Mine are really long in the hopes that they cover everything. Also, I already owned a business before I started doing this, so I had a lot of experience with policies and procedures. When I went to college, I had a whole business semester I had to take. So it's there. I hate to be a meanie, but just wanted to let you guys know policies and procedures. And if you claim an item and you're not able to pay for it, yeah, Rebecca, you haven't changed your name, but but YouTube changed something. So I was pretty sure it was you. I just popped over to your channel and looked. And so you have a channel, even if you've never posted a video. And so YouTube did this weird thing a while back where they let people pick their channel names. And it just automatically changed stuff for people if they didn't. So I figured out it was you, Rebecca, but where it came up under claiming the item, it had at Rebecca something and then some numbers. So yeah, that was a thing YouTube did. That wasn't anything that you did or anybody else that's happened to. So just a little housekeeping there. Let's continue on. Next, oh, you guys, I couldn't believe that I found this with no chips, no cracks. Now, there is a little bit of wear on. Let me see if I can even find it. And again, I believe this was, hi, Cass. I believe this was where it probably set up against the wall in the house and the house would shift. So there's a little bit of wear to some of the hobnails. But I can't find it now. Oh, maybe it was not the hobnails. Maybe it was the edge. Well, somewhere on here, there's a couple of spots where his rubbed up against the wall where it was stored as the house shifted. But there are no cracks. There are no chips. Oh, maybe right here. Yeah, right here. So it rubbed up against the wall or the shelf where it was stored. Right here. So I did want you to be aware of that. Are you okay, Cass? Are you in the hospital for yourself? So hobnail up into the stretch on this Fenton pitcher vase. And this one is, sorry I'm losing my voice, guys. Fall allergies get me just as hard as spring allergies do. So we are looking at 13.5 inches. So it's 13.5 inches tall to its highest point. Oh no, Cass. Hi, Kirian. That's terrible. But no chips, no cracks. It is nice and clean on the inside. This had no water staining, so I think it was probably never used as an actual vase. And if you saw my preview, then you know that my knitting needles looks really good stored in here. So if you have those old knitting needles and you want to store them, I've got the perfect container for you to store those. Yeah, Rebecca, I don't know why YouTube did what it did. But if I went and looked at your channel, which I did, it just said Rebecca T. right across top. So I knew who you were. So it is not a big deal. Okay, so for the Fenton milk glass swung pitcher vase, it's going to be $25, number 45. I have not had a customer pass away while they owed me anything. Ooh, Roxanne's going to take that. I've had also customers that went into the hospital but were able to email me. So I haven't had anybody that had no access to update, but I have had customers who are in the hospital say, you know, this happened and I just had an emergency surgery and can you hold that item for me until I'm back on my feet or cancel the item? So I have had people that are in the hospital who have gotten hold of me because something was going on. But I don't know that I've ever had anybody while running this business just kind of disappear on me. Now, in the massage business that I had for 10 years, I would have people, because I didn't ask for a deposit. And so I would have new people schedule an appointment and then not show up, and I would never hear from them again. So, never knew what happened to them after that. And I did have one time someone who was in a car accident on the way to his massage come in and tell me he had just been in a car accident. I'm like, I can't work on you. You might have injuries that aren't going to show up until tomorrow. It's a liability thing. And I had someone else who came in, and as I start, because I always start on the head and the neck when I'm doing a massage, as I start massaging, he's like, yeah, I've been having a pain in my chest. And I'm like, what kind of pain? Because we're talking middle-aged, overweight man. And he's like, oh, just a pain. I said, does this pain go down your arm at all? He's like, well, yeah, a little bit. And I said, I'm going to call you an ambulance. And he's like, oh, I don't need an ambulance. And I said, you are most likely having a heart attack. I can't work on you. I'm calling you an ambulance. He would not let me call him an ambulance. So I canceled the appointment. I did not charge him. And he went on home that night, got ambulanced away from work while he was at work because he was having a heart attack. So I have got stories I could tell you about the massage business. You would not believe some of this stuff. Okay, next up, I have a little bit of moon and stars. It's been forever since I found any moon and stars. It's an ashtray. No chips, no cracks. It is 8 1/4 inches across. It's this deep, this big, so as big as my head. Yeah, after he was ambulanced, like the next day, I get a text from him and he goes, oh, hey, you were right. I was having a heart attack. Dude, you could have died. Oh, people. So gorgeous blue. It's reflecting off my yellow shirt, but gorgeous blue moon and stars ashtray in a very nice size, but not super heavy. Like Blanco pieces in the ashtrays this size, so much heavier. $15 and number 57. $15, number 57. I swear this summer has been the summer of blue glass. Next up, Westmorland butter dish. This is the English hobnail. I'll show you each piece. So standard butter dish size on the inside, and then from handle to handle, we're looking at 8 1/4 inches. And then from point to point across, we're looking at 4 inches. And I do believe the hobnail is in really good condition. It does have the Westmorland glass symbol there on the bottom. And let me just feel over the English hobnail here one more time. Yeah, I think it's in really, really good condition. And Westmorland glass on the inside there. So if you are someone who still likes to use a butter dish, this is perfect for you. White fits into any kitchen. $20, number 44. $20, number 44. Oh, yeah, Roxanne. The sugar, the creamer. I like the English hobnail a lot. Yeah, Kaz, hopefully they can get you fixed up and back home. That's terrible. Next up, it has been so long since I have found a Bluebird of Happiness. This one is Leo Ward. And he's this size, so he's not one of the tiny ones. Oh, let me show it this way. Okay. Leo Ward on the bottom. And I couldn't tell if it said 1997 or 1987. So I can't tell you what that says. But it is a Leo Ward, and his beak is good. His tail feathers are good. So no chips, no cracks that I can see. He is from beak to tip of tail 3.5 inches, and height-wise, just under 3 inches. I don't know, Roxanne. I honestly don't know. Those are the only ones that I have found signed were the Leo Ward and the Ron Ray. $18, number 60. $18, number 60. Sometimes I miss my collection of Bluebirds of Happiness. And then I also had a yellow one, a red one. Never found a green one. Probably would have kept a green one since my birthstone is emerald. Yeah, I bet you do, Kaz. Nobody likes being in the hospital. Next up, I've got a little bit more antique glass. Now, the Persian medallion in the carnival glass was made in the early 1900s and then was made again in the 70s. When it was made in the 70s, by then Fenton was imprinting Fenton. So I'm 99% sure that this one is antique. And when I looked up the history of this bowl, this small dish, was one of the very first pieces that they started making in this. So I learned a little history on this. Fenton made these from 1911 to 1924. So this year, these officially became antiques. I mean, if it had been made in 1911, it was an antique. But now we know that any of the Fenton Persian medallion was only made until 1924. So all of them that don't have the Fenton imprint on them are going to be antiques. So it's this size. It is absolutely stunning. So to the best of my knowledge, this one is antique and not repros from the 70s. Now, I did have this dish in the bigger version, and it did have the Fenton imprinted on the bottom from the 70s. It was the Persian medallion in the marigold carnival glass. And it is almost 6 inches across. So for a little piece of 100-year-old glass, we're going to go $15, number 52. $15, number 52. I could not even tell you where I got my rings that I've got on today. So I've got this one, which is pretty big. I'm sure I thrifted it. And then this little one on my thumb, my niece gave me, and she gave me this one too. But this one, I'm pretty sure I thrifted as well. And I don't generally wear a lot of gold. I'm a silver girly, but we did gold tones today. Next up, how about a little go bowl? Oh, helps if I have the go bowl the right way. No chips, no cracks. He's got no damage to his ears. So a little lamb. He's this size. When I first picked him up, I'm like, oh, he would go in my nativity set really well. And then I turn him over. I'm like, oh, he's go bowl. 3 inches tall. And from his widest point to his widest point, 3 inches. So he's a 3x3. He's this big. And he is darling. Darling. He's going to be $12, number 51. $12, number 51 for a little bit of go bowl. And then I'm going to bring a little bit of Christmas. So the 2 Christmas trees that I have are not hollow. Alice is going to take the lamb. Thank you, Alice. Let me write that down. So they're not hollow. So oh, that's a good idea, Alice. They cannot, a lot of these are hollow and you can put a tea light under them. You cannot put a tea light under these. They're not hollow. So it's got a super polished bottom, but there are bubbles inside the glass. So there's a bubble right there. Here's more. There's another bubble inside there. So it's, not going to be a better glass company because there are bubbles in the glass. But it does have a nice polished bottom. This one is 6 inches tall. And this one does not have any damage that I could find. And this catches the light like you would not. Yes, this would fit so nicely on one of those puck lights and the light coming through it. I just held this up to the sunlight after I had washed it and it just threw rainbows all over the room. It was so pretty. $10, number 1. And it is solid, so it's got some nice weight to it. $10, number 1. Now the second one, I'm going to show you the height difference, but this one does have a chip. So here's the height difference. Ooh, Roxanne's going to take that. Awesome. Write that down. So that one was 6 inches. This one is taller. So this one is 7 1/4 inches. And let me see. I've got to feel each of these before. Okay, here. So here is where the chip is, right here. And of course, I didn't see that when I picked him up, although I probably still would have picked it up anyway. But chip right there. And as far as I could tell, that was the only chip on here. Well, as I say that, then I can feel a rough spot right here. So maybe a bit of a flea bite right here. But this one not only has bubbles, it has sand or debris in the bottom of it. It still has a sticker, but the sticker has nothing. The sticker's been worn off. So I could not tell who made this or where it came from. It's not as polished as the first one. And it has a nice twist when it comes up to the top of it. But this one's only $8. $8, number 93. Since he's got a chippy chip. So even though he's bigger, he's cheaper. $8, number 93. And then my last item today is the lot of craft books from my mom. She was clearing stuff out. And then I've got a few things I'm going to include with that. So let me first show you. Oh, Roxanne's going to take that one too. Awesome. Thank you, Roxanne. So first booklet is this one, Adventures in Jewelry Making. And this is from, I think, the 70s, 1971. So I wasn't even born yet. This one is older than me. She's full. Look at this. I love this. And she's wearing an anklet. It's just so much fun to look at the images. Look at the clothes. I love it. Oh, and it shows you how to make your own. What do they call those? Jeweled lace sandal. How fun is that? So that's the first one. Here's some of the necklaces that shows you how to make. Second one is jewelry and accessory designs yesterday and today. And this one is also 1971. Oh my goodness, look at this. Look at her ring. So these are super fun. There's the back and the front of that one. And then this one came apart, and so my mom did staple it together. But Window Magic, McCall's Window Magic. I have to show you guys some of these images. I just think this is amazing. Look at the pattern. It's on the chair and the curtains. All of this harvest gold color. Now, let me see if this one has a date on it. Do not see a date on this one. Guys, look at this. The chair, the bed, the walls. It's fantastic. Oh, I love it. Your kitchen needs to be loud. This one as well. So that one it's in the worst shape because it's been stapled back together, but that one. And then we've got Flowers for Keeps. And this one, 1973. So this was the year I was born. And this is how to make these preserved flowers inside things. That one's just arrangements. So, preserved a flower and a butterfly inside a purse. And then the last one is my least favorite. Man, I thought these were creepy. And I'm pretty sure this is from the 90s. No, 1979. These had a resurgence in the 90s because I remember people making these again at craft shows in the 90s. 1979. I did not know that these started out that long ago. Gross. I hate them. I think they're creepy. But soft sculpture dolls. And then I'm also including these decals from the 70s. And then these decals. So the whole bundle together, you will get all of that I just showed you. $10. $10, number 15. $10, number 15. For a whole bunch of vintage 1970s fun. Let me set that back down. All right, does anybody want a recap? Because that was my last item. And if you want to see anything from the beginning, I can do that. Just let me know. And if you missed it, my sister and I, now that we're back in the swing of routine for school and everything for my nephew, we've started junk journaling again. So I made a new back for my phone. I was going for the early fall vibes. And then I also did a couple of pages, super simple ones, but I had, awesome, I will do that, Karen. But I had, I'd gone to a yard sale where they had a ton of scrapbook paper, and it was 10 pieces of scrapbook paper, the 12 by 12 for 25 cents. So I bought a bunch. So this was just stickers on paper, nothing fancy. And then I did this one with some washi tape, some fun paper, these holographic stickers. So we are back into our junk journaling, which is fun. Okay. So first up, I had the 3 card game books, Fun with Games of Rummy from, I think, 1950, Official Rules of Card Games from 1955, and 150 Ways to Play Solitaire from 1950. And 2 of these are pretty yellowed, but in fairly good condition for how old they are. $10, number 8, and you get all 3 of those. Next up was the green glass shoe. It has this scroll work. Oh, thanks, Marcy. Thanks, everybody. Scroll work and a bow. I do not know which company made this. This one is smaller than the cat shoes at like 4.5 inches-ish. No chips, no cracks. $10, number 14. $10, number 14. We had the unmarked hair receiver in this very pretty floral pattern. Nice and clean. It's this size. That one was $12, number 36. We have this one made in Prussia. And because it was marked, I was able to look it up. This one is a true antique. And it's got this heavy, heavy gold trim on it. And the shape is super fun. So antique hair receiver, $16, number 82. And then I had a hair receiver and pin dish set. This one is Nippon. I love the shape on this one. This is the smallest hair receiver out of all of them. $20, number 53. Had the Waterford Crystal Variety Bowl. It's the size. Oh, Roxanne is going to take the Prussia hair receiver. Thanks, Roxanne. So Waterford Crystal, $12, number 49. $12, number 49. I should get some ice cream and just have ice cream out of it just once to be fancy. Next up is the Waterford Millennial Happiness Hope you can see the design. Wine coaster. So this holds an entire bottle of wine so that the condensation from your chilled wine does not get on the table. It's nice and heavy. And it is $15, number 81. No chips, no cracks. Then I had the 3 Mexican pottery bowls that I'm selling as a set. So the first one is shaped like this, and they stack all together. First one's shaped like this. Second one like this. Third one like that. And for all 3, it's $20, number 29. Had the blue glass moon and stars. It's picking up my yellow shirt. I'm sorry about that, but ashtray. And I did not see or feel any chips or cracks on this one. $15, number 57. And I think you guys probably saw everything else. Yeah, the blue is so pretty. I'm telling you, this has been my summer of blue glass because I found more blue glass this summer than any other color of glass. That is everything that I have today. And I am going to go over and help my parents get the cover on the pool. This is our first time doing it because this is the pool at their new house. So wish us luck. I don't know how that's going to go. All right, you guys have a great day and happy fall. It's this weekend, first day of fall. Woohoo! I love the cooler weather. Hopefully it gets cooler here soon. Bye, guys.